Hello friends, it's Lisa and welcome to a new reading vlog, but a reading vlog with a little twist. So this is going to be just like a normal reading vlog, a normal week-long reading vlog that I have done many times, but like I said, there is going to be a little twist. I'm going to let a random number generator determine what I read this week. I have seen other creators do this type of video, but recently I've been seeing Jamie over at Jamie's Library. I will have her channel linked below. She's been doing this recently, I think, to kind of work on completing some of her physical TBR, and it just seems really fun, and so I thought, why not try it? So I actually filmed me doing the random number generator and finding out what I was going to be reading a couple days ago, so I will let you watch that clip here. Okay, first, excuse the appearance. It's warm and also I'm sick, so we're just trying our best over here. But welcome to the TBR shelf. These are the books that we are going to be pulling from for this random number generator video. But first we gotta go through some ground rules. Listen, you might complain and think the whole point is just to read whatever the number generator gives you, but I have rules. And it's my video and I can do what I want. So, first one. Obviously, I have some series on here where I've only read up to a certain book in the series. I'm not going to skip a book if we land on a book I can't read yet. So for example, Sea Sparrow is the 5th book in the Graceling series. I need to read Bitterblue and Winterkeep first. So we're not going to read that if that's what I land on. Also, I think there's a couple books on my shelf that I have said I would buddy read with people. So if I land on that, I'm not going to read it without them when I've said I would buddy read it with somebody. So that's another thing. Also, I have just gotten out of a reading slump. I kind of have spent June kind of getting out of that, and I don't want to ruin that. So if I get a book that I really just don't want to read right now, I'm going to allow myself to veto it. I'm going to have vetoing power. I'm going to try not to do that. All of this is just like some ground rules, but like I'm really going to try and just read the first thing that comes up. So I just wanted to let you all know that I'm not going to like torture myself for the sake of this video. This is supposed to be fun. Okay, so I have 43 books on my physical TBR, so that is what I'm going to put into the random number generator. I don't want to click it. Okay, I'm gonna click it. It's fine. Okay, generate 11. Oh no. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The way I gave Sea Sparrow as an example, and that's what I landed on. Okay, obviously I'm not going to read that. I need to read these two first. I wish I landed on Bitterblue. I kind of want to read that. Okay, we're gonna generate again. 21. Is that 11? I already forget. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Can you even, is it on camera? Oh my god. Wait a minute. This is kind of a sleigh. I have been wanting to pick this up. Like, I've been having the urge to read this the past, like, few months, and I just haven't been getting to it. But July, like, I don't have much of anything that I have to read or want to read. Like, there's nothing on my TBR. I want to do a reread of Beach Read, and I have a book that I have to read to review. That's it. So I was thinking maybe reading this in July anyways. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm really excited about this. I hope I like it. I feel like I've seen some mixed feelings on this final book, and also it's a Romeo and Juliet, like, retelling set in the 1920s in Shanghai, and Romeo and Juliet, we know how that story ends, so what's gonna happen here? Nervous about it. But oh my god, wait, this couldn't have gone better. I'm so excited. I've been in a fantasy mood recently too, which, I mean, most of my TBR is fantasy because I've been neglecting it for like a year because I haven't been in a fantasy mood, but now I'm in a fantasy mood. But okay, yeah, I'm so excited about this. So Our Violent Ends is what we're gonna be reading this week. I'm so excited. I feel like it was just like meant to be that the random number generator landed on this because I have put this on my like monthly TBR for probably the past like 4 or 5 months. Basically all year I've been trying to read this because I really wanted to conclude this duology. One of my goals this year is to read and finish more series that I've started, so I'm just really excited that this is what we ended up landing on. It felt too perfect. Like, it feels like it's almost rigged, but I promise it was not. And I've also, like, recently, I don't remember what I said a couple days ago when I was filming, but I've just been in a fantasy mood recently, which is just really exciting because I haven't really been reading a whole lot of fantasy the past like year or so. I've, really been into reading a lot of romance, so that I feel like is what's been like the bulk of my reading the past year or so, and so I'm just excited to be getting back into fantasy, be in a fantasy mood, because I do love fantasy. It was my favorite genre for so long, and I still think it is. I just also now love romance as well. But yeah, I'm so excited. I have actually already started reading this, but I don't know. I also didn't describe what this book was about or this series was about. So this is a sequel to These Violent Delights, which I definitely think I'm going to mix up the titles. I might have even mixed it up in the other clip because they both have violent in the name, and so I get them confused. But this is the sequel to These Violent Delights, which these are like Romeo and Juliet retellings set in Shanghai in the 1920s, and our main characters, Roma and Juliet, are a part of these rival gangs. And when Roma and Juliet were 15 years old, they fell in love, and obviously they had to keep that a secret as they are a part of rival gangs because of certain circumstances and things that happened. Roma and Juliet end up ending things, and These Violent Delights, the first book in this duology, is set 3 years after that situation, and they haven't seen each other really in 3 years, but they have to end up working together because there is this monster that is going around and killing people on both sides of the gangs, and also just like the people of Shanghai, and they have to kind of put a stop to it. So with our violent ends, I'm on chapter 13, page 121. I did have to read a couple different summaries before going into this of These Violent Delights. I read the Simon Teen one, and that was very like general, very broad. Most of what they said I remembered, so I read another one that was a lot more in-depth and gave me a lot more details that I did forget. So I went into our violent ends feeling a little bit more prepared just because it has been so long since I read These Violent Delights. I read it back in, I think it was either October or November of 2021. I was just recently looking when I started this. I was curious as to how long ago it was. So it's been a while. And because it's been a while, I kind of forgot exactly why I liked These Violent Delights so much. Like, I remembered liking the characters, I remember having a good time, but I was like, I gave it 4.5 stars, but I don't fully remember the feelings I had while reading it. And then I started this book, and literally within chapter 1, there's a certain interaction between two characters that had me like screaming and also wanting me to bang my head against the wall, and I was like, oh yeah, this is why. I forgot how much I love these characters. I forgot how much I loved the tension and the whole thing with them being from rival gangs, just adding such a fun dynamic, a fun and like terrifying and brutal and violent dynamic. But also all of the side characters, and there's just kind of a lot of like political things happening on top of this like weird monster thing that's happening. Like, there's just a lot going on in this duology, and it's just so fun. Clearly I'm having a good time so far because I'm over 100 pages. I read most of that in one day. So yeah, I'm having a really good time with this so far, and it's just like reminding me of why I loved These Violent Delights so much. And like, obviously I'm reading this for the first time, but reading this is making me want to go back and reread These Violent Delights and then just read this again. Like, I'm already like excited for potential like future rereads of this series. Also, there's more books that Chloe Gong has written about, like I think side characters from this series, like the Foul Lady Fortune, that series. So I have a lot of content to get through. I'm a little behind, but loving this so far. Like, I'm just having a great time. So yes, thank you random number generator gods who were smiling down on me, who had this be what we came out with, because I'm having a great time. And honestly, like I said, I've been trying to read this every month for like the past 5 months, and I just kept not getting to it, but now it feels like the perfect time to read it. I'm in the mood for it, so it's just, everything is going great here. So yeah, we're gonna be reading that this week. I might start some other things as well, depending on how fast I read that. I might start some audiobooks. I've been in a big audiobook mood recently as well, so I might need to pick up an audiobook to read. And like I said, also, this is just going to be like a normal week-long vlog. We're going to have some other fun, exciting things happening. Obviously, lots of cat content, but also we have Speak Now, Taylor's version happening this Friday, and you bet we are going to be discussing, reacting, and talking about all of that because I can't not. So yeah, very excited for this vlog. We just have a lot of good vibes happening. A great book that I'm reading. We have new Taylor music. Like, what else could I want in a week, you know? Oh, also, before I, wrap up my babbling, I watched the Nimona movie that came out last night, and oh my god, it was so good. I'm obsessed. I was barely 10 minutes in and was like, this is gonna be a new comfort movie for sure. It captured the graphic novel so well. There may have been differences, but because they captured the characters and the important scenes and what certain scenes and moments did for the plot and for the characters and everything, it just felt like I was watching the graphic novel come to life. It was so good. They captured it so well. The characters were great. I already want to watch it again. It made me laugh. It made me cry. It did everything that the graphic novel did. It was so good. So if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend. It was so much fun. Just please watch it. It was so good. I loved it. 5 out of 5. 10 out of 10. But alright, I've babbled long enough, so we're gonna wrap it up here. But welcome to a new vlog, and I'm just very excited to see where this week goes.
Have I passed the part that made you cry yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you'll know.
Okay, because so far I'm like, I don't think this would make Lisa cry.
I mean,
What do I know?
she's a sensitive gal.
Exactly.
So true. Just two gals doing the face masks. I feel like you can just tell by my face, my appearance, how hot it is. It is quite a toasty day today, and I of course have to film my wrap up today, which should be interesting because I feel like there's a part of me that's going to become a little like delirious because it's going to be so hot. So if my June wrap up is a mess, it's not my fault, it's Mother Nature's. But I wanted to just pop on because I am about halfway through Our Violent Ends, which you can't tell because there's no dust jacket. I will have Lisa in editing put a picture on the screen. But yeah, I'm basically, where is my sponge? Right here. I am halfway through that book. So I wanted to give some thoughts because I know that this book, like, I think Chloe Gong's books in general and this series, like, have kind of a big following. Like, a lot of people really love her books. But I knew, like, there were a lot of mixed reviews on this particular book in the series. Like, I've seen some lower ratings for it, and I also know, like, Andrea from Andrea Reads, I'm pretty sure she DNF'd this book. So I kind of had that in mind when going into this book, and I think the thing is, I can understand why this won't work for people, but I also understand why it's working for me, at least right now. It could all, you know, this could all change and go downhill in the second half. I just don't know. And right now I'm enjoying it. And I feel like the reason why people might not enjoy this, like, I feel like this is the type of book that you have to enjoy the characters and be invested in them and their relationships in order to like this book. Because where I'm at right now, which is basically halfway through the book, there really hasn't been, like, there's been things happening. There have been confrontations, there's been violence, there's been fights, there's been arguments, there's been things happening. But in the grand scheme of the book, not a lot has happened, if that makes sense. Like, this whole book, they've been kind of hunting down information for this thing that they're trying to defeat, kind of like the main conflict of this series and this book. But where I'm at right now, like, they don't really have much more information than they did at the beginning of the book. They've gained some knowledge on certain things, but not a whole lot. And so for that reason, I could see people being frustrated with this book and not enjoying it because the grand scheme of this book and the whole main conflict, like, we don't really have much more information on that. But I think the reason that this is working for me is because I'm really enjoying the characters. I enjoy reading about them. I love the different, like, romantic relationships that happen in this book. I am living for all of the angst and the tension, and I feel like a lot of the situations that these characters have been in so far in this book have really, like, highlighted all of the angst and tension within a lot of these relationships. So as someone who enjoys the characters and enjoys the relationships, I'm not having a problem because I'm someone that I've always said I definitely prefer books that are more character driven. I can read a book where there's basically no plot, but if I care about the characters, then I'm on board, and that is exactly what this is. So if that's not you and you're looking more from the plot, then you're probably not going to enjoy this, but I'm having a good time. I mean, I'm only halfway through, so there's still time for things to go south, I suppose. Like, maybe the second half is where more people are having problems. I don't know. Potentially, I might end up taking back everything I'm saying right now if the second half feels rushed. Like, I don't know. But right now, I'm having a good time. And also, there's one thing that's happening in this book where there's kind of this secret that a couple of the characters are keeping from some of the other characters. And I'm trying to be so broad. But basically, there's certain things that some characters know and a lot of the other characters do not. And we as readers know what this thing is, and we know that this is happening. And this particular secret, it's causing me so much stress. Like, I cannot wait for the moment when this, like, gets revealed because I am probably gonna lose my mind. There's probably gonna be tears, but I'm just like, the fact that this is still, like, a secret from so many people, and, like, if certain people found out, it would cause so many problems. But then there's also a lot of other people where I'm like, if they knew, it would make things so much easier. So I understand why this secret is being kept from people, but I'm like, it's stressing me out that it's being kept, and I just want everyone to know, or the people that need to know, I want them to know. Because there's actually been a couple of moments, like, regarding this secret that have made me, like, cry. So I'm not really emotionally prepared I think, for this secret to be told and for people to find out, but like I'm also ready for it. And it's just stressing me out that it's being kept for so long, but like I understand, but it's stressing me out. So yeah, as much as like that is causing so much angst and tension within me and within these characters, like I'm also kind of loving it. Like I don't know, I'm just having a good time. I think it also helps I was really in the mood for this book. Like the random number generator really was looking out for me because I was kind of thinking of picking this up anyway. I know, like I've been saying for the past few months that I was gonna read this. Like I said, it's been showing up on my monthly TBRs every month since probably like March or April. But because I've been actually in a fantasy mood, I was contemplating picking this up next. And then the random number generator said, here you go. And it's just, I think the stars are aligning here. I think I'm in the mood for it. I'm loving these characters. I'm loving the relationships. I'm loving the angst. So for me, it's working. But again, I understand why people wouldn't be enjoying this. I think this particular book just really works for who I am as a reader. So I don't know, I'm vibing, I'm having a good time. I'm also crying, so like, am I having that good of a time? I don't know. But yeah, I think that that's all I wanted to update on. I think I might start an audiobook, so if I end up deciding on something, then I'll let you know about that. I'm like the worst at picking audiobooks. The reason why I go through audiobook phases is because I have certain ones I want to listen to, but then once it's like, oh, what audiobook do I want to listen to and I'm not sure of what to do, I just never listen to them because I can't make a decision. But I was loving audiobooks last month. I felt like I listened to a good amount, and so I want to get back on that. I want to keep that up. So I think I'm going to pick out an audiobook, maybe listen to that a bit, but I also want to keep reading Our Violent Ends. I almost said These Violent Delights. These titles like bamboozle me. So yeah, I'm gonna finish getting ready, even though I feel like doing my makeup right now is so pointless because I'm already sweating it off. And I'm gonna get started on filming my June wrap up. So I will check in with you all in a bit. I cannot talk and do mascara at the same time.
It's the way yesterday I started losing my voice, and I don't know, this could be interesting because it's still trying to leave. And we have Speak Now, Taylor's version happening tonight. I can't lose my voice. I have lyrics to scream. Oh no, this doesn't sound good. Okay, so clearly I need to make this update quick because I might not be able to speak throughout the whole thing. So, update on Our Violent Ends. I'm on page 294, which is chapter 30. I think I have like exactly 200 pages left of this book, so I'm hoping I can read a good amount of it tonight. I know I'm holding it up with no cover. Also, like the little detail on the hardcover, I don't know if you can see that, but it just makes me very happy. But anyway, yeah, I'm hoping that I can read a good amount of this today. Like I said, like Taylor's version of Speak Now is coming out tonight, so I'm gonna be up till midnight at least. I'm gonna be up way later. I don't think I've processed that I'm gonna be up until probably like 2 a.m. today, but that's fine. But I'm gonna be up until midnight waiting for the album to drop, so I'm gonna have plenty of time to do some reading. So hopefully I can make some good progress here. I would love to finish it today, but I just don't know if that's realistic. I'm still enjoying it. Like I was saying yesterday, I feel like, again, if you don't care about the characters and the relationship and all the angst and tension in that aspect, I don't know if you'll really enjoy this because there's still like, there's been some good reveals and twists and things that have happened, but I feel like, I don't know, like realistically, like plot-wise, I feel like not a whole lot has happened. Like there's been little things happening, but in the grand scheme of the book, not a whole lot. Like they still don't really have a whole lot of information, so, which is kind of funny that we're like 200 pages from the end and I'm like, what have we learned? Really not a lot. So again, I understand why people aren't enjoying it like for that reason, but I'm just having a good time. And like the secret thing that I was talking about yesterday, a certain character found out about it and I cried. This particular thing is causing me so much stress, like I said, so it was just nice to have someone find out about it. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm having a good time with it. I'm stressed about what's going to happen in these last 200 pages though, and what's going to happen at the end of this book, because like I'm hoping it doesn't feel rushed because, you know, the pacing of this book has been so slow so far, but also like I'm just stressed about what's going to happen. Like I've been saying, this is a Romeo and Juliet like retelling, so like how far is that retelling going? Like how accurate are we going to be? How much are we pulling from that story? I don't know. stressed about it. So yeah, 200 pages left of this. Like I said, hopefully I can do some reading tonight while I wait for Speak Now Taylor's version, which I'm so excited for this release. I'm so excited to hear the vault tracks and what they're gonna sound like. I am really excited for Castles Crumbling because that's the one with Hayley Williams. Also excited for the one with Fall Out Boy. I went to, back in like 2014, Fall Out Boy and Paramore did like a co-headlining tour, and I went. So this is really speaking to like teenage me. But also I feel like the song that I'm like the most excited to hear, and the one that I like immediately got excited when I saw the title, was When Emma Falls in Love. I don't know why, I have just such a good like feeling about that song. I also really hope that tomorrow I don't have to come on here and admit that I've been wrong, because I don't want to do that. But everyone's been so stressed about the Better Than Revenge lyrics changing, and I have been so adamant that they are not changing, and I really don't want to have to come on here and be like, I was wrong. Anyways, that's my take on Better Than Revenge lyrics changing. And I like the fact that I'm losing my voice, I'm not gonna be able to scream lyrics no matter what they are, is kind of offensive. So I'm hoping that this will get better throughout the day today. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I also, you know, I'm realizing I'm going to be up late tonight, so I might need to make myself a coffee later on this afternoon so I can actually stay up until 2 a.m. when the album is probably going to be over for me. I'm so excited to hear Speak Now Taylor's version. I'm also like kind of sad because, you know, Speak Now came out in 2010. When you listen to those songs, like you can tell that Taylor was a lot younger. Her voice sounds so young, and it's going to be, I think, really emotional and also like difficult to hear her like mature voice singing these songs, because there's just a way that baby Taylor sang some of these lyrics that it's not gonna sound the same, and it's gonna make me so upset. Like in Sparks Fly, when she says I'm a house of cards, and also like my mind forgets to remind me you're a bad idea, the way her voice sounds when she says those lines like scratches an itch in my brain. It is just so good, and I just don't know if it's gonna hit the same with mature Taylor's voice, but I'm excited anyway. It's gonna be emotional hearing mature Taylor sing some of these songs like Never Grow Up. I'm not ready for that song. I never listen to that song because it makes me cry. I'm just not emotionally prepared. And my voice is also not prepared, but we're gonna make it through somehow, maybe. All right, it's warm in here. I need to turn my fan back down, so I'm gonna go. I will check back in when Speak Now Taylor's version is about to come out. I'm not ready. I'm so emotional already.
Alexa's dreaming now, drifting off my couch. We walk down streets she's walked 1,000 times. At the AM that night, under palm tree lights, for the first time I came alive when summer died. I didn't want it to close its eyes on me. I shook off every warning. Sometimes you gotta know when to say goodbye. It didn't hurt at first, singing every word, but when I finally cut through blurry lines, I was horrified. Raining in my room, been that way since June. By the time it dried, I came
Okay, it's 11:58. I'm gonna get one more listen in of Better Than Revenge because pretty sure the lyrics did change. I have mixed emotions on that, so I'm gonna get in one last listen of that song before midnight. And if she does change the lyrics, she can make it up to me by keeping the shaky breath that happens in Last Kiss in the re-recorded version. If that is also missing, I mean, I'm still gonna cry and love it, but you know, I'll be sad.
Now go stand in the corner and think about what you did.
I'm already crying.
her vocals is like it's throwing me off. It doesn't hit the same, but still good. The vocals, I'm losing my mind. Oh, her vocals.
You can take me down. All you are is mean and a liar and pathetic and a lonely life.
Oh my god. That sounds different.
Next chapter.
I don't want to listen to it. Oh god. Her vocals, I'm
Now go stand in the corner and think about what you did.
like, it's a slight lyric, but also it just doesn't sound right. Like, I'll learn, but it sounds weird. I don't know. Is that an echo? Like, what's happening? Okay. Last kiss time. Hello? That sounds different.
I still remember the look on your face. So why did you go? I watch you let me like I used to feel you breathe, and I just to ask them.
The breath. It's probably not in there. No. It doesn't matter. The weather and time, but I never planned on you changing your mind.
Just like our last.
Oh, it's so good. Thank you, Joe Jonas.
On a history book page. Long live the walls we crashed through. How the kingdom lights get on the satellites. Wishing to write down. We are the king. I had the time of my life. Fighting dragons with you. Honestly, take a moment. Promise me this, that you'll stand by me forever. But if God forbid, please tell my name. How the crowds went wild. Tell how I only shine with you. I'll live the time of my life, fighting dragons with you.
Oh god, ours. This track list is too much.
My heart is yours. Gone to work, tall, dark, and Superman. It's the same thing to me. He's got his mother's eyes, his father's eyes.
Reputation.
You want you, I love you. I love you from the very first day I watched you.
New songs. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I have the lyrics up. I'm not ready. Too hard.
Won't need space, but string me along while you decide and just one time.
When Emma falls in love, I'm so excited to hear this one. I already love it.
Emma falls in love, I know that boy will never be the same. She could never tell you the truth. Sometimes I wish I wasn't her. Love, it's all on her face. Hangs it, she won't lose herself in love the way that I did. 'Cause she'll call me when Emma falls in love.
Aw.
Little does he know, his whole world's about to change.
What is this?
Pass me in the hallway and you don't think I can see it through you. I've been through it. I went to touch you now. What would you do if they never found us out? What would you do if
What is this?
I like big king? You be my addiction. You can see me as a secret mission. Hide away my eyes out.
Castle's crumbling. I'm scared.
They used to cheer when they saw my face. I had fallen from grace, and I feel down in black and whites are third. In those photos, I saw us instead. We found each other. In another life would have been mine. We would have been timeless. I would have read your love letters and you still would have been mine. We would have been timeless.
Oh my god.
In a foreign land, and I was forced to marry another man. You still would have been.
Is that it? Oh my god. Oh my god, it's 1:58. I'm not even kidding. That's the power of Taylor Swift, am I right? Okay, I have a headache because I'm tired and just went through a lot of emotions. But that was very good. And we'll talk more in the morning. Also, I hope my voice comes back. This is not good.
Well, we are post Speak Now Taylor's version. It's the next morning. My voice is still trying to disappear. I thought it was getting better, but now that I'm talking, I don't know if it's getting better. Anyway, but I thought I would just share some maybe quick, I mean, I tend to ramble on and on, but some thoughts on Speak Now Taylor's version before we just continue on into the rest of this vlog. So if this is the only part of the vlog you care about, or if you want to just skip all the Speak Now stuff, we'll just keep it all together. So I think it's really good. Obviously, it's different. We have, you know, some different production on some of the songs. They sound different. Her vocals are obviously a lot more mature. Her voice is very different from where she was like years ago when this album came out. You know, she sounds older. She sounds more mature. Her vocals have also improved a bit since this time as well. So it just sounds different. I don't mean different in a bad way, because it's really, really good. And there even are some songs that I think the Taylor's versions I like more than the originals. Like I think Speak Now Taylor's version, like the song, I actually prefer to the original. I think Back to December Taylor's version is better than the original, which I don't know if people are gonna agree with me on that one. I think it's just weird with the re-records to always hear like the differences, because you know these albums are albums we've been listening to for years and years. This came out in 2010. I've been listening to this album for 13 years, so it's weird to hear those differences, but like it's good. It's good. Also, I want to talk about the Better Than Revenge lyric change, because I know like that has been kind of a big thing. And yesterday I went on this whole rant about why I didn't think she was changing the lyrics. And then like immediately after that, all that proof started coming out that she changed the lyrics, and she did. She changed the lyrics. So I was wrong. I was living in delusion. And I do still feel a little sad about the lyric change, just because it's not the version that I've grown up listening to for the past 13 years. So I fear and resist change, and it's different. I don't know. I'm sure like the more I listen to it, the more that will seem normal. But you know, I am like a little sad that it's different, just for like nostalgic, sentimental reasons, because I'm a very nostalgic person. But I also like understand 100% why she changed the lyric. It is not something that she agrees with. It's not like those are not lining up with her values now. And I feel like, you know, all of these other re-recordings, she's not changing lyrics. Everything's like the same. So the fact that she felt strongly enough about it to change the lyrics, I think just shows how important it was to her to change the words. So I think with that in mind, it makes me less upset about it. But like, I'm still upset about it, but I also understand. And I think those feelings can coexist. I feel like people are being very dramatic about it in all aspects, but we can feel a little upset about it, but we also can understand why she did it and support it and listen to the new version, of course. And honestly, like, she calls Joe Jonas a bug, so therefore I love it. But yeah, overall the album is so good. The vocals on like every song are incredible. That was something that I kept like commenting on, because obviously not only do her vocals sound so much more mature, but it's just like so good. Like she is singing on this album, and it's so good. As for the vault tracks, I feel like the first listen through, When Emma Falls in Love, Castles Crumbling, and Timeless were my favorites. Timeless made me so emotional, and For the Happy Place, Emily Henry girlies, Does It Not Remind You of Harriet and Win? That's all I could think about. So I think those might be my favorites of the vault tracks, but like I Can See You is kind of spicy. I just finished listening to Foolish One, and I feel like that one is just like, I get it, it's relatable. And then there's Electric Touch with Fall Out Boy, which is also really good. Like they're very good vault tracks. I still think I prefer Red's vault tracks, but like these are really good, and I'm very excited to continue to listen to them, learn the words. I am absolutely loving it. It's making me so happy. I'm just so happy we are back in a Speak Now era. It's just, I don't know. It's very nostalgic in a way. Even though, like, yes, it sounds different, it still feels like nostalgic to revisit this album and revisit these songs and listen to them for the first time again. That's just like a special thing that like no one really ever gets to experience, but we get to with Taylor. It's just very cool. And she does have a couple of concerts this weekend. She has one tonight and one tomorrow. And the koi fish guitar that she used during the Speak Now tour and during that era has disappeared from the museum that it's kept in. And if this woman walks out on the stage for Surprise Song O'Clock and has this koi fish guitar ready to play, I will be so unwell. I also think there's a good chance that she's gonna perform Long Live and or Last Kiss this weekend, and that's just, I don't know how I'm supposed to handle that. Speaking of Last Kiss, so happy with that re-recording, by the way. Enchanted and Last Kiss are probably my favorite songs off of Speak Now, so I was like really excited to hear those ones. Enchanted is super magical, of course. Like there is something special about the original, but this one is also so magical and so special in its own way. And Last Kiss, it doesn't have the shaky breath, but the emotion is still there and it's still spectacular. And once again, thank you, Joe Jonas. So yeah, if she does sing Last Kiss this weekend, I will be making it everyone's problem, especially if she plays that little koi fish guitar. I don't know what she's doing with that. I'm very nervous about it. So yeah, if you've listened to Speak Now, Taylor's version, I'd love to hear your thoughts. The sound, any changes that she made, the lyrics, the vocals, the vault tracks. Let me know all your thoughts down below. But now we can just kind of proceed into the rest of this vlog, some regular scheduled programming. I mean, I do feel like talking about Taylor Swift is pretty regular occurrence on this channel, so it's not that different. But waiting for midnight to happen and for Speak Now Taylor's version to release, I had some time to do some things. So I ended up doing some journaling. I've been kind of behind in my reading journal for the past couple of months because I needed to get new ink for my printer, and then I got new ink for my printer, and then when I finally put the new ink in, there was something wrong with the ink that I got, so then I had to get more new ink. So it's just kind of been a whole process, but now we have ink and it's working and I'm able to print things. So I've been slowly like catching up on my reading journal and getting caught up on that. So I did some of that last night. I'm still behind, but we're getting there. I did do my July spreads just so I can at least start using them throughout the month, and then I'm going to keep going back and filling in the stuff that I need to do. So I did that, and then I also did do some reading of Our Violent Ends, which I don't have the book with me. So I made it to chapter 34, which is page 334. So I have math. That's easy math. For once, 160 pages left of this book. So I think I'm going to try my best to finish this tonight. I feel like where I'm at, things are just kind of like, they're too calm for right now. So I just know like the rest of this book, bad things are going to happen. But I don't know. I'm still having such a good time with this. I'm really enjoying it. I have also been doing some investigative work into getting myself some copies of, what is it called? Last Violent Call, the like novella that she released, and the new series that she's writing, the new trilogy, Foul Lady Fortune, all those books, because that's all like in the same universe. I need to get my hands on everything. I need to read all of it. I'm just gonna become like obsessed, I think, with this world and these characters in this series. Like, I'm really enjoying this. So I'm nervous to see where it goes. I'm nervous to see how this wraps up, but I'm still having a great time. Some great things have happened at this point, which is also alarming. When characters have any slight happy moment, I am immediately skeptical. So excited to keep going with this. Like I said, I'm gonna try. I think I finish this tonight. So yeah, as you can see, my voice is still, I feel like it's better, but it's still not fully back. I don't really know what's going on, so I'm gonna shut up so I can rest my voice a little bit more, and hopefully this will start to be better. But yeah, not prepared for the ending of this. And also the fact that I'm reading this when a Taylor Swift album has re-released, like, you know, I'm gonna be sitting here trying to compare all of the Speak Now songs to the characters in this book, and it's gonna hurt my feelings even more. Well, hello friends. I feel like it's been a hot minute since I've talked to you, but it's really just been like a couple days. It is now Sunday and I wanted to chat about Our Violent Ends because I did finish this yesterday. I know I said on Friday something about finishing it that night, and I tried. I had like 30 pages left before I fell asleep, but I did get distracted by Taylor Swift's concert on Friday night, which prevented me from reading. She played Long Live, which is not on the typical set list. That was like a surprise thing. She also ended up releasing a music video for I Can See You, which is one of the vault songs from Speak Now, and Taylor Lautner was there and he's in the music video, and it was just very overwhelming. But also the fact that she released a music video for I Can See You, and literally like a few hours before this happened, I was thinking about how I Can See You gives me Roma and Juliet vibes, because to me I Can See You gives such like forbidden romance kind of vibes, which like that's them. So it was just weird that I was like thinking about that song, thinking how it related to this book, because I was trying to relate those songs to this book in any way possible, and I thought of that song, thought it fit, and then later that night she released a music video for it. I think Taylor Swift is just living in my brain. I don't know, something's going on there. Also, I will say, if you have this book, I would love to know. I think this is a first edition, so maybe it was just a printing error in the first edition copies, but I got to a point in this book where like I got to the end of the page, it started a sentence and then just never finished the thought, and then the next page it was starting a new sentence, and I realized there was a section of my book that was missing. The good thing is I got the audiobook thinking I might listen to it while I physically read along, which I didn't end up doing, but I was able to go and listen to the part that was missing in my book. I wrote myself a little note here of what was said so that I would know if I like reread this in the future. But yeah, I'm just wondering if that was like in anyone else's copies. Is it just mine? Am I just special? Was it a first edition printing error? I don't know, but that happened. And I just want to know if I'm the only one with that in my book. But anyway, but yes, obviously I wrote that note with the intentions of a potential reread happening in the future, so obviously I did end up really enjoying this. I just really loved these characters, and I definitely feel like they are what carry this series. I feel like when I look at what happened in this book, a lot more happened towards the end of the book, but there is a lot more focus on the characters and their relationships and how they all basically feel a variety of different emotions towards each other. They are enemies one moment, and then they're in love with each other in one moment, and then they're enemies one moment, and then they're friends the next moment. It's a lot. But the characters are, for me, what really carry the series, and I am such a character-driven reader if I connect with the characters, so this just, I think, worked for me personally. It also had me in tears at multiple points. Like, there are some emotional moments in this book. I also just really loved the way that it ended. It was a very emotional ending, but I really did enjoy it, and I'm excited to see, like, in the other books that Chloe Gong has written, like, set in this world, how the story continues. So even though I was enjoying this book, I do have, like, one of my complaints isn't even really on the book, it's more so on me, but I do have like one thing that I wasn't too fond of, I should say. So one thing is I think I just did a bit of a disservice of waiting so long to pick this up after reading the first book in the series, which again is not on the book, that's on me. But I just feel like even though I read a pretty decent summary of the book that did give me some details as to what I needed to remember before going into this book, I feel like obviously there were a lot of things that I did not remember going into this book, and I was just kind of having to just piece things together and try my best to remember. So yeah, obviously like that's not a fault of the book, that is my fault for waiting a year and a half to pick up the sequel to the first book. But really one of the only other complaints that I had, and this was really the only complaint of the book itself, was I feel like there was a certain character arc and certain reveals around a certain character, and I just don't feel like I fully understood this character's like motivations. I to an extent understood where they were kind of coming from, but I was just like, I don't know if that fully makes sense, if I'm fully buying like that's why they would do what they did. But like I said, there are more books in this world, so I'm hoping continuing on with the books that Chloe Gong has written about these characters, I will get some more answers to that question. But just kind of within this book, getting the information about this character that we did, I'm not quite sure I understand exactly what motivated them to do what they did. But other than that, I had a really good time. I say what I rated this? I gave it 4.5 stars. So yeah, the random number generator really did me a solid this time around. I feel like because this went so well, I'm gonna want to do this again, and then it's just not gonna work out so well the next time I do this. But it not only picked a book that I was in the mood for, but it also picked a book that I really enjoyed, and I'm just so happy that I finally read this book. I finally finished this duology, and now I'm so excited to read more from Chloe Gong, read the books not only set in this world, but she has her like adult debut that's coming out in July, the one that's called Immortal Longings, and I'm just like, I'm so excited to read that. I think Chloe Gong might turn into like an auto-buy author for me, which is just very exciting. So yeah, shout out to the random number generator. I thought that added a fun little element element to this very typical like weekly vlog. If you want me to do that again, I will. Like I said, I feel like it won't go so well the next time. I feel like I'm just tempting fate by doing it again, but I would do it again if that's something you would enjoy watching. I did start reading a couple of other books after finishing Our Violent Ends, but neither of the books I'm very far into, and I think gonna wrap up this vlog here, so we won't talk too much about them. But I did start the audiobook for Love in Color. This is by Bolu Babalola, and it's a bunch of like little short stories that she wrote, and she wrote Honey and Spice, which I read earlier this year. I think I read that back in February, and I really loved that book, and I'd heard really good things about this short story collection, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. And so far I think I've only listened to 2, but I've liked the first 2. One of them was like unexpectedly really sad, and I was not prepared, but it's like a bunch of short stories about love and relationships. And let me actually look at the description so I can accurately describe it to you. It says it focuses on the magical folktales of West Africa and also reimagines Greek myths, ancient legends from the Middle East, and stories from long erased places. So yeah, I'm excited to keep going. I so far have liked the first 2 short stories, so I'm excited to keep reading those. And then I also started another book, which I need to go and grab. And this book is also very heavy, so we're gonna make this quick so I don't have to hold it for too long. But I started Nine of Swords. This is by Brooklyn Quintana. This was actually sent to me by the author in exchange for review, so excited to check this out. It's a high fantasy. At this point, I don't fully know exactly where the story is gonna go. I know we're following a character named Phineas Fogg, or Finn, and he is a prince. He's like a part of this royal family, and I think at some point he's going to start attending this military academy. And where I'm at right now, which is page 55, chapter 4, we're not at that point yet. At this point, I don't really know what like the main conflict or plot of this book is going to be, but so far it's interesting. It's setting up a very interesting premise. I did look on Goodreads and looked at some of the tags because I was checking to see if this was like an adult or YA book. It is an adult book, and it also has the tag dragons. So that excites me. I feel like recently was just saying I want to read more books about dragons because I was reading Fourth Wing and I was just so excited about the dragon aspect. I want to read more books about dragons, and I like reading books about like military academies. And this book has both. So I think this has potential to be like a book that I really, really enjoy. So far, I'm enjoying the writing. I'm enjoying the characters. I feel like I don't fully like have a grasp, again, like I said, on what was really going to be happening. We're pretty early on in this very chonky book. I think it's like almost 800 pages. So being 55 pages in, I don't have a full grasp of everything yet, but excited to keep going with this. But yeah, I thought because I finished the book that I intended to read during this vlog with the random number generator, we could just wrap up this vlog here. Definitely let me know if you've read Our Violent Ends or the duology, your thoughts. I would love to chat about it down below because I feel like I'm just gonna become like hyper fixated on it. Like I just love the characters so much, so very excited to chat about that all with you. Or you can just let me know what you've been reading currently or any Speak Now Taylor's version thoughts. I'd love to hear them down below, but I think that is going to be it for this reading vlog. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.